In the last video, I uploaded about 2 shortcuts that will make your workflow easier in Godot. Somebody actually was asking about my turn order implementation or turn manager implementation, and it's pretty simple, so I thought I'd make a quick video to share it. So here it is. I have a resource I've named turn manager, and there's an enumerator here which just has ally turn, enemy turn, and then a variable turn, and then there's a setter for set turn, and then I have 2 signals, ally turn started, enemy turn started. And we have a function which is the setter, and it just sets the turn, and then it checks to see if it is now the ally turn, and if it is, it emits the signal ally turn started, and if it's the enemy turn, it emits the signal enemy turn started. So nothing too fancy here, and then obviously I have an instance of it in my file system here, turnmanager.tres. And then I can get access to that turn manager in my world scene here. So you can see I'm doing turn manager equals reference stash.turnmanager. You could also just do load turn manager here. Well, I don't want to type it out, but you can drag it and drop it here. So, or preload, whichever. Either way, you get access to the turn manager here. And then once you have access to the turn manager, you can connect to those signals. So turn manager.connect, and we connect to the ally turn started on ourself. And then we have a function called on ally turn started. And then we have another one that is enemy turn started, and we have on enemy turn started. So we just, every time one of those signals gets emitted, we run one of these functions, right? And we have on ally turn started. We make sure that the player piece is around. And if it is, then we enable all of the spells for the player and show the UI. So what that looks like is when I run the game here, you can see we've got 2 spells down here that are shown, and we get the end turn button. So that's showing the UI. It also shows the end turn button. Then if the end turn button is pressed, we do turn manager.turn equals turn manager.enemy turn. So we're setting it to the enemy turn. And you can see if I press end turn, it changes to the enemy's turn. So what happens when we set the enemy's turn? Well, enemy turn started calls enemy turn started on enemy turn started. And it just makes sure the player piece is still there, because if not, then we don't need to actually we don't need to run the enemy turn. And then we hide the player's UI so they can't do anything during the enemy turn. And we get the enemies, and if there's no enemies, then the level's over. But if there are enemies, we loop through them and we have them all act, and then we wait till their action is done. So, and then at the end of that, we set turn manager back to ally turn. So that's it. Nothing really that fancy here. You can see we can navigate this space, right? Push that wall into that enemy or something. And the turn system works really great. It doesn't really care about what the enemies are doing or what the player is doing, because it doesn't need to know that. They just act on their own, and then when they're done acting, it just sets the turn to the player's turn. So hopefully this video was helpful. I kept it really short. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about this, and let me know if you have any other questions, and I'll try to make short little videos like this to answer the questions you guys have. So talk to you later.